the roast of Daniel Mack. If you think your strategy is better than what we've been talking about, please tell us why.
Still making 15 to 18,000 monthly revenue from YouTube without that shorts monetization.
I guarantee you'll make an extra 6 figures a month. No doubt about it.
Oh man, we're so good at this. We should get paid more for this.
How are we doing today, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today we have a special episode for you guys. This is myself right here talking on the microphone. If you're listening, Darren, alongside co-host Tommy Jordan. It's a great Monday today. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. How are we feeling today, Mr. Jordan?
I'm doing good, Mr. Rogers. I mean, Darren Kriz. Shout out to
I love
Mr. Rogers. I know. So good. It's a beautiful day. It's another week of, or even the end of the week when you're listening to this, but
True.
Another weekend of possibilities with who knows what content you might be posting might go viral. Your life might change in an instant. This episode is going to be exciting because we're going to be talking. We're going to highlight. We're going to start doing this because Darren and I are always sharing people who are popping off, and it's always like insightful and it gives you a lot of hope. You're like, I'm right around the corner. But we're going to talk about someone who's recently been popping off, just like you might be doing soon, or you currently are.
One piece of content can definitely change your life. And yeah, probably every single week we're going to highlight a different content creator that we're seeing in the space they kind of seem like they're blowing up out of nowhere in a sense. But, sometimes you got to look in the past, and usually there's a lot of hard work that's gone into what they're doing now and where they're at. But we're just going to get it right into it. This week, we are talking about Caleb Simpson. We have mentioned him, I think, briefly before on the podcast. But Caleb Simpson, he is a content creator. His biggest platform is TikTok. And you guys have probably seen him. He's mainly known for his short-form content where he walks up to people and asks them what they do for a living. I'm sure you've seen many other versions of people that do this. It seems like they just walk up to random people in the streets and ask them a question about, or no, he doesn't ask what they do for a living, my bad. He asks,
where they live.
He asks how much they pay for rent in New York. That's what he asks, yes.
They're I was thinking of, though.
Yeah,
they're also similar these days.
It's crazy because in my head I was thinking of like everyone asks what you do for a living. Like Daniel Mack is a guy who's blown up to 10 plus million on TikTok and multiple million on YouTube. But so this is the trend that's been popping off, and Caleb about, I would say only like 4 or 5 months ago or so, saw this trend catching on. He probably saw Daniel Mack doing what you do for a living, and then he was thinking, okay, I live in New York City. A lot of people like New York-styled content, so I'm going to ask random strangers how much they pay for rent in New York, because that's something where everyone is kind of curious to know, because when you're in New York, you're like, how does anyone even live here? There's just a bunch of tall buildings and 200 square feet apartments. How does it even make sense for people to rent and live a lifestyle in this city? Especially social media is for people all over the world. You're seeing a lot of, my analytics on TikTok you get a lot of people from a bunch of different countries. Yeah. So I'm sure people are just curious about big cities like New York, LA, and how people actually live in their personal lifestyles. Like I post content about people living in these ultra mega mansions a lot of the time, doing full house tours, but Caleb was posting about people living in $500 tiny houses in New York pretty much, and he's built the niche off this. And so we have his analytics pulled up, and it's crazy to see what like this kind of trend jacking would do, and he really has just taken off with it. It's not, Tommy was saying like a minute ago or so that one piece of content can change your life, and that's true. One piece of content can change your life. He posted a I don't remember what exact video, but it got a couple million views, and then it probably changed his life in a different trajectory. But he wasn't just like, oh, I had a viral video, that was fun, now I'll go back to my 9 to 5. He was like, okay, now I need to double and triple down on this and keep posting I think he posts every day a different video of touring someone's apartment, which is, next level consistency. And that's the kind of effort it takes to actually get to where he is now. I mean, I'll bet you if you asked him 1 year ago today, if he thought this is the kind of views that he'd be doing on all his platforms, he would probably say there's absolutely no way in the history of the world that he could have done 300 million YouTube views in the month of October. So, I mean, we have a Social Blade popped up right here, which shows the analytics and the stats of their YouTube channels and all the other channels. But what are you seeing on the YouTube Social Blade here, Tommy? What does it look like?
So a few things, like to set a sort of foundation, a starting point for us. So on YouTube, okay, his first YouTube video was 3 years ago, and then didn't really post that much after that, or the videos are unlisted or private. Yeah. So that shows you that, okay, 3 years ago. His first short he posted on his channel on YouTube, it looks like it was about a year ago. A year ago, actually. I'm wrong. It looks like about a year ago, his first short. And then if you go to TikTok, okay, because this guy primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, really made his rise being like a short form content creator.
Definitely. Over 6 million, almost 7 million on TikTok. 7 million followers, that is.
Huge. So his first TikTok, Darren, was August 7th. 2019, and it's just a goofy video of him cooking in the kitchen, like food exploding. And so he's been grinding for a very long time. This goes just to show you, Darren made a really good point. Like, yeah, he had one viral video, but it took him maybe hundreds to find that viral video. And then once he found something that works, he's like, I'm going to ride this for as long as it freaking lasts, because TikTok, 193 million likes, okay? That's billions in views to have that many likes. Billions with a B, okay? So Facebook, almost 556,000 at the time of this filming. Instagram, 840,000. So it shows you, like we always talk about, diversifying your content on across all platforms, because usually, if a piece of content works on one platform, it's going to work on others. So Darren, what's the most interesting thing to start us off with the Social Blade? I just wanted to give us sort of an overview, like that this guy is a juggernaut, but still, Darren, 2019 when he started, maybe he started like earlier than that, but at least posting in 2019, like, it doesn't take that long. You work extremely hard for 2 or 3 years. That's not a lot of time. Like people who are out there in the streets putting in 30, 40 years to get an IRA, a 401k, and you retire in Florida or in the Keys.
Yeah, I mean, after 2 years of you really not getting too many views, because if you look at his Social Blade, he really didn't even crack 10,000 video views a month. And it goes back to January 2020 of him getting 1,000 views a month, and then it doesn't go really over 10,000 in any month until March 2022. So now we're pretty much exactly 1 year ago today, where he hit his biggest month of 12,000 views in a month. 11 months ago today, he was probably stoked. A year ago today, he was like, "Yes, I finally cracked 5 figures in video views a month. I can finally buy a bowl of Chipotle," if he was even monetized back then. But then
look at the following months. How sad.
44K, 94K, 57K, which is just like, still, this is not very many views at all, especially if he's only doing shorts. This is just nothing. 200K. And then August 2022, 1.4 million, which is pretty big. But then September 2022, it 200x, 200 million views in 1 month in September. And then that's when, I'm sure, like from August to September, he was just like, all right, this is working. I got a few videos that went ultra viral, and he's posting them on all platforms too. He's not only sticking with YouTube, he's doing it on Facebook, like we said. I mean, TikTok was the first one, I'm sure, and then he's putting them on YouTube Shorts. If he'd never put them on YouTube Shorts, he wouldn't have the following he does now and making the kind of money and the sponsorships, the brand deals, because YouTube views are definitely counted a little more stronger, more dense than a TikTok view and a YouTube subscriber. So 2 million YouTube subscribers feels like it feels like 20 million TikTok subscribers in a way.
1,000%. You have 2 million subs on YouTube. It feels like 20 million on TikTok. And there's like a depth with the audience. You're with Google. You got that AdSense, just brand deals and stuff from having an audience that big. And the stars sort of aligned with people who saw an opportunity, like we see, like you probably see listening, with short form content, you know, and also long form's great. Like, it's not either or, it's like both. But he saw an opportunity with short form content, went hard on it, and now it happens to be, you know, in a time where short form content's monetized. So this guy here, Caleb, getting hundreds of millions of views on YouTube. He already said, Darren, didn't you see something? He saw something cool on IG about how much money he was making like a year ago or something. What was that?
How much money he was making a year ago?
Yeah, did you see? He said like I used to make like $1,000 a month or something. Then he made like 20,000 that month or something crazy. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. No, where'd you see that at?
Maybe it was on his story that you sent me, but it was pretty interesting. Just like, you know, this guy went from not having a lot of money, not having a lot of opportunities, but he had a camera, he had his phone, he had some good ideas, and he just started executing on them like daily, like no other. And boom, here you go now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. $1,000 a month. I bet you he wasn't even making $1,000 a month on social media a year ago. There's no way, because he wasn't getting any views. But he just pretty much started his channel 4 or 5 months ago, and now I'm sure he's doing. I mean, now that shorts are being monetized, if he continues the trajectory, and I mean the trends always slowly die off, so it's going to be interesting to see how long he sticks with the same exact style of content, because if you look at his views, it is slowly going down. And if you look at his even if you look at his views just from each individual video, the views are slowly dying. But I mean, it'll like, I don't know, maybe he can stay at what he's doing for the next year, but then he's going to have to slowly innovate, which is the hardest part of content, because like if you're in a 9 to 5, you know that you got to do this, you know that in the next 3 years you can make this much more money. But in his, who knows, it could just fully die out, but then he will have like 2-3 million subscribers, so he can use that audience and go a different route if the trend that he's doing now is not necessarily working the exact same. I mean, so it's going to be hard to get to where he was when he was peaking, because he is technically like in this trend jacking niche.
Totally. Yeah. So it's interesting. I found the article. It was Colin Samir. We've spoken about
right.
them.
I thought this was like a month ago.
Yeah. So on LinkedIn, it says that a year ago. So basically, this article was written a month ago, January in 2023, but just shows a year ago he was working on NFT Now, whatever that is. And in year 6 of trying to make it on YouTube, today he has over 8 million followers across platforms. He's making 35 to 40,000 a month, but that's pre-YouTube Shorts being monetized. So who knows how much he could be making now? He could be $100,000 a month easily.
Yeah. Wow. When was that article?
This was January 15th, 2023. So just a few weeks ago from the date of this filming at 35, 40,000 a month. So,
okay. Because there was a video on Colin and Samir where it showed he made $8,000 on AdSense, and then he said maybe like $11,000 from a brand deal.
Yeah.
So probably like $18,000 off YouTube, and then, you know, who knows how much he's making on the other platform with like 500 million Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, 500 million TikTok views in 1 month. I think he got. What's the, I mean, I don't even know what.
Yeah. Look that TikTok up. We'll look up that CPM, and I have something interesting. So
yeah, go for it.
While you're looking that up on YouTube, okay, this was pre-shorts monetization, which we're hoping is going to be around 40 cents per 1,000 views after the split. We'll see what happens. Okay, pre-monetization really for his shorts, which that's the majority of his views on YouTube at this time of filming. Okay, still making 15 to 18,000 monthly revenue from YouTube without that shorts monetization. I mean, if you were making $15,000 a month, people would say that's a good living, and making it just from making content, insane.
I mean, people wouldn't only say that's a good living. That's what like some of these doctors are making that have been working for 7-8 years in school for 7-8 years, and then they finally have to use that $15,000 a month to just get out of their student loan debt. So
yeah, it's wrong.
But I mean, what those people have, or like what they think that they have, what they tell themselves that they have, is the security of having these degrees and these jobs, and that they can, but also that's not necessarily true. You think you're safe in a job, but then look what happened in 2020 when everyone was just getting fired and they thought they were secure in their job. And now a lot of those people started making content, because content might even be more secure than having a corporate job like that, because you are actually your own boss and you pretty much determine the trajectory of your brand, your content, and where you want to go in the future if you have the right vision and discipline to actually make the content that you'd want to make down the line. So
1,000%.
I don't know. I'm just going off on a little tangent here, but that's just what were we discussing?
So TikTok, did you figure out what the CPM
it was it seemed like it'd be like $15,000 a month or so if it was like a 4-cent CPM, 4-cent RPM, because I don't really know what it is now. I haven't really checked mine in a while, but if it's still like as low as it is, he'd be making $15,000 probably on the low side with 500 million views in a month. I mean, this isn't like fully accurate, but obviously if it was 500 million views on like Facebook, I mean, that would be about $250,000, 200 to 250 grand a month in ad revenue, which is unreal. So who knows if that's what YouTube Shorts is going to do? If he was still doing 300 grand, if he did 300 million a month, which he has done on YouTube 2 months ago, that would be nowadays like 120 to 150 grand in AdSense instead of $8,000, which is what he actually made in the last month.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Insane. And something cool that he's been doing, because it says on this article, this short little article, that his goal actually was to make more long form style videos. Okay. So just because like you want to make long form content, doesn't mean you can never not do that if you're doing shorts or reels or TikTok, just vertical quick content. But sometimes you have to take advantage of what's currently trending to like, so like my YouTube channel in the last month and a half, I've got it just from shorts to like 11,000 subs. And if I would have been doing long form content in the last month and a half, I maybe would have 100 subscribers if I was lucky. So sometimes you got to use what's trending, like what kind of content people are interested in. And then you build that audience and start doing long form. Because I think it's incredible what he's done now, creating longer TikToks almost, Darren.
Yeah, I mean, I like the style that he's doing with his like short to long form. So he's posting a short every single day.
Yeah.
And this is actually a great idea. So he's posting a short every single day, obviously focusing on that because that is his niche. That is his bread and butter. That's what he's great at. It's how he popped off.
Yep.
But whichever short has skyrocketed and gotten him 5+ million views, he will then go back and either tell the person, or I don't know exactly how he'd do it. For a guy like, if you look at his channel, if it's a big influencer like a Jeff Wittick, even though that long form video didn't do too great, I'm sure he just filmed the short and the long form same day. But with other people like this Sports Illustrated model, Haley, this video, the short that he did with her got like 50 million views. And so I'm sure after that, he went back to her and said, we got so many views on this short, let's make a long form version video of it. So he probably went back to her apartment, did a full long form video with her, 12 minutes long, and he got 1.3 million views because people like her, they like their vibe, they like all that kind of stuff. But that's a great idea, to where if he has a short that goes viral, then make a long form video of that idea, which is good in any niche, because if you have a short that goes viral, obviously that concept is working and that kind of specific content will work. And he did the same thing with this video 13 days ago. So like you said, I think he is kind of working on doing at least a video every other week, bi-weekly long form video, along with the short every single day, as long as, which I think is a good model. I mean, a short every day will be tough, especially in his, to sustain for a year plus. But
yeah,
he's just riding the wave right now. I'm sure he'll eventually figure out a system that works. But I think what he's doing right now is incredible, to where, he's basing what long form videos he'll make off the viral shorts.
Yeah, 1,000%. And he's a good example of someone who saw something that was working, like Daniel Mack. Hey, what do you do for a living? He asked car owners. You've seen it. If you're on TikTok at all, you've seen this guy.
He's huge.
So taking that kind of format and running with it, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just like you see something that's working. I mean, why wouldn't it work for whatever you're doing? So really, really smart. And definitely, I would say you got to go to his YouTube. You got to look at it's looking at these creators, especially the ones that are currently now popping off, or even ones who have in the past. You could learn so much about how they got there. Like you like Patty Galloway, Darren probably knows. He's a huge YouTuber. Look up his channel if you haven't. And he does sort of analyzes major YouTubers that have blown up. And he says sort of like in 10-minute videos, okay, this is how they started. This is what they did to blow up, their format. Like as Darren said, you got to have some kind of system where like you could stay consistent and just getting content out. Because these platforms do look at it like almost like you're clocking into work. Like if you don't post for a week, YouTube does not like you. Right. So, but you post for a year consistently, like YouTube likes you, and they do push you out to more people. Like it's sort of weird, but it makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. I was looking at Patty Galloway's YouTube channel. It's crazy. He's only had 4 videos in the last year on his channel. So, but basically his main focus is consulting now. And he's he's done like a handful, I don't know, 20 plus of these styled videos where he's pretty much just breaking down top creators. And then he built this whole system to where now he's pretty much only consulting with YouTubers. I mean, you know what it is. I think we've talked about him before, but also we were talking about Daniel Mack, how he's kind of doing the same thing with the trend jacking type stuff. So I went to his YouTube channel to see what his long form strategy was. And I mean, not to say that I am anyone to, I don't have as many subscribers as him or followers, but I know YouTube pretty well, you know. And I have some advice for Daniel.
The thumbnails are terrible, dude.
That's what I was going to say. Dude. I mean, these are the worst thumbnails I've ever seen.
What?
I mean, I'm sorry, Daniel Mack. You know what you're doing. Yeah. If someone is making these for you, fire them immediately. Because these are... How bad are these? I mean, he can do a lot better than this. And I know the video content that he's doing with these 8-minute videos or whatever, he's trying to push them to 8 minutes so he can get the mid-roll ads in there, obviously, but and they're all just a compilation of his TikTok videos. But I mean, make a better look at what YouTube videos are doing that have a lot of views, and make a better thumbnail. Really, I mean, even with this guy a month ago, it looks like he's doing like a mixture of compilation of his TikToks and then a podcast. That's what it looks like his long form is. So he just interviewed Liver King, which is that isn't a horrible thumbnail with the Liver King one. No. But honestly, it's not the best. When I look at that thumbnail, I think that it's a fake. I don't think that it's an actual podcast with Liver King, right?
Which he got this guy on his freaking Liver King's huge. And he's on the pod. Looks fake. Like I wouldn't click if that went on my homepage.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like even though if you look at the video, it looks like he is actually interviewing Liver King in person. Which like if we interviewed Liver King in person for our podcast, we'd be pumped. We'd be like, this is going to get 100,000 views.
Yeah.
But for a channel with 2.3 million subs and he only has 11K views on a Liver King interview in a month.
Oh man.
You got to think like it has to be related to the thumbnail. Like first of all, just Daniel Mack, get over the ego of having the Daniel Mack Show Ep 3 in the title and just put the Liver King, just put like the Liver King breaks silence. That'd be even better. And change the thumbnail up a little bit. But the other thumbnails are just pretty awful as well with this yellow and text. It just looks like some kind of like a third grader could make this. No offense, and I'm sure there's no way Daniel Mack's doing that on his own. He's got to it's bad,
man.
I mean, also this interview with this guy Penguins, not to just continue on to roast him.
No,
there's this guy Penguins. 1 month ago, you see it has 4K views. That guy has like 4 million subscribers, and for this podcast to only have 4K views is pretty bad. And I know if you guys are listening on the audio version, you won't really be able to see what we're talking about, but it's just. I mean, you guys know anyone. Go look up Daniel Mack and look at his long form. Homework, yeah. Just look at what not a great thumbnail is, and then go to any other big podcast channel or any other big YouTube channel in general, and you'll notice the differences instantly. So I hope you're listening to this, Daniel Mack. I mean, even though you have millions more followers than us, but still, you can leverage that into more than 4K views on a video. It's crazy. That's not good.
Like, for example, I'll help him right now, dude. Okay, so he has a video, a thumbnail, right? Asking yacht owners what they do for a living, invited on, and he has like $1 million yachts. He has a girl in a bikini and then a girl with glasses like her face. So first of all, you guys know me. I make content about Jesus and stuff. But let me help you. If I was like a Nelk Boy or something, or Full Send, if this was my podcast, okay? If I was Daniel needs to be in the middle, in front of the yacht, with 2 babes in bikinis on each arm, with like some massive text that says like 30 million and like glowing, and he's like with these 2 chicks, because he has this creepy photo of like this chick's like side boob and then the girl like face. Dude. No, man, you need to like come on.
Exactly. I mean, dude, like,
come on.
It's frustrating because it seems like he's wasting the potential of this channel. That's why we're passionate and upset about this, because dude, like, you have
comes once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, once people start seeing that these thumbnails and titles are better, like, he probably just thinking, oh, the content will get views because the content's so good. But not necessarily, not on YouTube. You know, Mr. Beast spends like 5 figures, and there's Mr. Beast again. He spends like 5 figures of per video thumbnail. You know, he spends 10,000 plus on just the thumbnails alone. And people spend, like, I know Ryan Trahan, another big creator, literally spent like a week to take one photo of a thumbnail in one of his videos. He literally went to like Bora Bora to take a photo of a thumbnail that he didn't even like the final version of it, but he got like 10 million subscribers. I mean, 10 million views on that video. So he said it was worth it in the end. But you know, you gotta spend more time on thumbnails. And some of these shorts creators, I don't think they really understand the YouTube long form game quite yet. I mean, Daniel Mack, he's only been in it. I mean, he has 20 million, I think, on TikTok, but he hasn't been in the long form game really very long, if at all. And I mean, he's got to understand things aren't very good if that's not, you know, if he's getting 4K views with 3 million subscribers, there's something wrong. And like Darren said, never, if you have a podcast, if you're listening, put your like show name and episode number. Keep your titles under like 55 characters, okay? And don't be using things that aren't like grabbing emotion, piquing curiosity, or are SEO friendly. Like the Liver King one breaks his silence, Daniel Mack. If he put like Liver King opens up about, like, if he wants clickbait, just do it. Like, right? Like Liver King finally speaks out why he used steroids, or like, dude, imagine in like he's in the thumbnail with Liver King. Liver King's like looking down. I don't know, bro. It would have been huge, and that'll just get more people to eventually go to and they'll be like, it'll be people that are interested in Liver King clicking on that thumbnail, watching the video, and then if they like it, they'll subscribe. It'll help him reach a different audience, a bigger audience. More Liver King fans will come to Daniel Mack's channel and learn about who Daniel Mack is. Someone like him probably thinks that they are so famous and have so many followers that anything with their name and show will get views, right? That he probably thinks, if I put the Daniel Mack show, all of my hardcore fans will come and watch these videos. Well, let me I have something to tell you, Daniel Mack. You're not even like,
no.
He's not even in his videos, really. His videos are about other people. He's not like, he's not Will Smith. He's not a guy who, if their name is in it, people like them for their personality. He's famous because other people are famous that are in his videos, really, and that have super nice cars. People follow him not to listen to what Daniel Mack, look, there's another Daniel Mack. Like, he doesn't have to be in the title. He needs to make more clickbaity YouTube videos. Because in TikTok, it's all about the content. It's all about the first second. But YouTube, you're not scrolling. You're scrolling through thumbnails and then clicking on that.
And this is why, if you're a short form creator and you're heading over to YouTube, hire someone like us or some Patty Galloway, someone who has expertise with YouTube, because trends come and go, and I agree. Once you build up that following, like, you don't lose them, and you could just keep going and going and building. So, but still, there's something special when you get that momentum behind you. And if he was really executing well on this channel, the kind of doors that would just, so like, for example, he needs to just think like Caleb. Caleb said, okay, I have short videos showing off someone's apartment. Daniel Mack needs to do a little longer one. So someone he really hits it off with, who like he goes up, what do you do for a living, blah, 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 right? And then maybe like a longer video. Here you go, Daniel. This is for free, okay? Go up to a guy with a Bugatti, like Andrew Tate, okay? And he's like, blah, blah, blah. I got it because, you know, I'm a black hat hacker and I sell malware to Russia. Wow, that's interesting. And then they like go to lunch in his Bugatti and they talk for a few minutes, and it's like a cool little quick video asking this billionaire how he runs his business. And it's like 6-7 minutes. You're out of there. Cheers with some champagne or escargot at the end. Boom. Right?
Dude, that is amazing advice. You know, just taking this full circle back, even though Daniel Mack, sure, he has 500,000 more subscribers than Caleb, I think he should copy exactly what Caleb's doing with his long form, because in 6 months, Caleb will have more YouTube subscribers than Daniel Mack. It's not even going to be close. Daniel Mack doesn't know what he's doing with long forms, whereas Caleb obviously has figured out the system. If Daniel Mack, so what Daniel Mack should do, instead of just turning his long form videos into shorts compilations, that's not how you're going to build a brand. That's not going to work long term for him at all. Daniel Mack should just focus on, like you said, if he has a viral video, gets 40 million on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts, then just like figure out how to, I mean, obviously maybe it's harder for him because he doesn't plan the videos like Caleb, but I mean, I'm sure he plans some of them to where he could say, hey, you want to do a longer form video where we're just like having an interview conversation, just hanging out, and then you can he can just interview the billionaire, the rich person with the car, sit next to the car in the interview. He can discuss how he had a passion for cars back when he was a kid, talk about his childhood, talk about how he made his money, just do like a sit down interview, a long form. And then Daniel Mack can get his pub that way as well, instead of just starting a random podcast on his long form channel where he's interviewing Riley Reid. You know, it's just very, very random route that he's going in. I don't think this is going to work long term for him. I mean, he needs to learn from Caleb. I bet you 6 months we'll go back to this. Caleb will be light years ahead of Daniel Mack, even though Daniel Mack has like 20 million followers on TikTok.
1,000%. And that, like, honestly excites me. Okay, Darren, and you amazing viewer who listens weekly. You always give this video a like, which I really appreciate, and you're subscribed, which is just, of course, my heart goes out to you. And also you've left a review on Apple and Spotify, which is just great. Thank you for that ahead of time. What a blessing. But this is exciting for us. You want to know why? Because you learn short form content. You learn, like, we're all of us right now. Comparison game, it's terrible, but we all do it, not even sometimes to compare, but just to see, okay, what's someone else doing in the housing niche? What's someone else doing in my gospel Bible niche? And you see them on YouTube and they're like blowing up from their short form content. And you're like, oh man, like blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, Daniel was probably at a way head start than Caleb, like light years ahead. But now look, roles have reversed. So it's like, if you're smart, you execute well, you always stay learning, you learn the nuances of each platform. That person who's ahead of you right now, they're going to be in your rear view mirror in a month from now.
And I'll bet you Caleb was like, he got his idea about asking people for rent from Daniel's videos. I'll bet you that's where he got the idea from. But then he was I need to put a spin on this. Instead of asking people about their cars, what they do for a living, I'll ask people how much they pay for rent. And so from this inspiration, he's going to surpass him because he's learned the game in a shorter time span than Daniel Mack, who's been doing this for multiple years now. So even if you have less subscribers, less followers, you know, figure out what's working and then put your own spin to it and try to just learn everything you can and go all in, and you can pass up your idols.
Yeah. I mean, it's something interesting because, like, looking at his channel, he'll try to do a lot of like edgier style videos, which is like fine, you know, like we live in a free country, do what you want. But it's funny to me that like you have like the Nelk Boys and stuff, and they do edgy content, but it's not the edginess that gets the views, because he clearly has some really edgy titles talking about some stuff that's not PG. But that doesn't mean it's going to blow up, even if he has a cute girl in the thumbnail. And I think it's really funny. It just goes to show you a good creator is a good creator. It doesn't matter if you're talking about grass growing or you're talking about billionaires or you're talking about like crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So I just think it's funny, like, he'll just put up this thumbnail and edgy title and think, oh, this is like going to get a lot of clicks. And it doesn't, which just sort of cracks me up. And you see like the Nelk or whoever, they have good storytelling. They have good characters in the video. They have good pacing. They have good thumbnails. Like, it's not just about like, it's not easy.
I mean, he's really not building a brand. What he's doing is just solely trend jacking, you know, solely just trying to build up this short. Because I looked at his Facebook too, 2 million followers, which is huge on Facebook. So I'm sure he's doing I'm sure he's making. I mean, I did see a video where someone's like, "How much do you make a year?" And they were interviewing Daniel Mack, and he said, "Oh, I made well over $1 million last year."
Wow.
So like, and I don't know how old he is, but I'm sure he's like early 20s. So he's just like,
yeah. So first off, he's doing great. Props to him.
Oh, yeah,
like, he's crushing it. We
obviously
totally respect him, but we're just trying to help him here. Keep going,
of course. We're trying to help him reach his full potential with when you have millions of followers, millions of subscribers.
That's a dream's life can buy right there, Darren.
That is truly like, he had a dream and now he can, I mean, I don't know how to spin that off, but yeah, dreams life can buy. It's pretty crazy. But he's 24 years old and he's made over $1 million in 2022 just with short form content pretty much, which is insane. But he can make $5+ million if he figured out how to build a team around making better long form content. If he like sat down and was like, all right, let's have a strategy for 2023 with my long form videos, because he's obviously dominating the short form game. There's almost, props to him, like we're saying, he's the best, almost one of the best on the platform at short form content.
Mm-hmm.
But if he sat down with people and said, how can I turn this into long form content instead of just making a podcast where he's not really building his personal brand? Because like, what does the future look like for him? Like, what can he eventually sell to where he's not only making money off AdSense and sponsorships, he's gonna be able to sell like whatever that, couldn't even tell you. But if he sat down with a group of smart, business savvy people that have been in the content management game, they can probably figure out a strategy, 2-3 years long strategy, to where he can do this kind of long form content and then turn that into some kind of specific business, maybe a car related business too. Yeah. And that's what it would have to be probably, because that's his brand. But then in 2-3 years, he can be the face of his personal brand instead of other celebrities and just nice cars, instead of just trying to do it through a random podcast that's getting no views, even though he is getting celebrities on the videos. So
yeah, I got a strategy right now for you, Daniel. Glad you're listening.
Let's go.
Okay. So first of all, like Darren was saying, there's a natural connection there with cars and wealthy people. And in looking at his channel, he likes like influencer, baller lifestyle kind of stuff. So, okay, good. So let's forget like interviewing race car drivers or like going super car niche-y. Obviously, he likes more like the broad picture. So it looks like he's into like fun, cool, hip, outrageous kind of people. What he could do for his long form videos is simply hit up Bryce Hall, hit up all these sway people, all these like people he knows already on TikTok that he's in their DMs. Can you imagine if he did a series once a week? He was with Dixie, checking out Dixie's car collection, Charlie's car collection. Like major celebrities would totally do videos with him because of his like reach. Think about that, bro.
I think that's easier for him even to go with long form content than it even is for Caleb. So I'm sure Caleb can just hit up, because what Caleb's doing now is just working with influencers and like pretty much only people with followings. He's going into their apartments because that'll get more views, obviously. But I feel like people with supercars, why do they have a supercar? To show it off to other people. That's the reason why people get supercars. So if he hits up all these, and now when you have this big of a following, the connections are almost endless for him.
Yeah.
And so if he posted a series, like you said, once a week with another influencer and asked if they could show him a car, they could drive him, or he could even do like a series where they're driving him in their car and they're just having a conversation. You know, they have 3 cameras set up in the car, middle and both sides.
Like James Corden.
Like a James Corden carpool karaoke, but carpool conversation. Easy. And he's just having a carpool conversation with a different influencer every week talking about the car. And it's more like, and he could only be like a 15, 20-minute long video. And that would be better. You know, they could even get out and just vlog, talk at a lunch or a coffee shop. Could you imagine how, like that? I would watch those. Those are interesting to watch.
Put up your cash tag now. Okay, or your Venmo, because like that is he should wire you 50K for that idea.
Daniel Mack, if you start doing this now, I guarantee you'll make an extra 6 figures a month. No doubt about it. Easy.
Wow. So we should just title this "What Daniel Mack did wrong and what Caleb Simpson did right." Like the title.
Our title is our title is not clickbait. If you look at our title right now, it is obviously clicked on this for a reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot, dude, like this is just free advice that we're giving one of the biggest creators, and it's guaranteed to work, and it doesn't take that much more effort than what he's doing. Now, I'm sure he's not putting he's 24 years old, just made $1 million where he probably hasn't made even close to that throughout the rest of his life. So I'm sure he's not working constantly 24/7 trying to scale up, you know. But if he wants to really grow this into something huge and massive, he needs to just put the pedal to the metal and just take our advice and make those kinds of videos. And once you do, we're gonna be in 6 months from now, we'll go back and see if he's doing that on his channel, and we'll know that he listened to this and that he took our advice and now he's doing great, and that he should Venmo us like at least 10 grand each or something.
at least. So, and Darren was talking about like the network that these guys have when you have millions of subscribers. Okay. Whether you like the guy or not, Mr. President himself, President Joe Biden, he literally has a video with Joe Biden, okay, saying your car's awesome. And he says, what do you do for a living? And he says, I'm married to Joe Biden. It's actually pretty funny. That was what do they say, the kids? That was a rare W for President Joe Biden.
Rare W in the chat.
Dude, bro, I'm with the kids skull emoji right now. Just see, I'm so old. But I'm just showing you, dude, if he could, I can't handle myself right now. If he could get with the president of the United States, he could get with anyone to make content. Like, what?
Yeah, like that's a video like that, they definitely were trying to figure out how they could do that for a while. It wasn't just like that day he said, oh, hey, I'm Daniel Mack. Can I do a video with Joe Biden? You know, they planned this out, because if you look in the video, I'm looking at it right now, there's people standing like 50 feet back from where they are. So I'm sure whatever, like convention, car show, whatever this was, they got Daniel Mack in there and said, all right, let's do your video real quick, you know? So
yes,
he can get those connections. He can get anyone.
Yeah, and I agree about the planning in it, because Mr. President there says that it's an electric car and does a little plug for like electric cars. So, you know, that's going out to the youth. So it's planned, it's rehearsed, and now it's planned with the freaking president. So yeah, dude, can you imagine if he was just like with all, it would be like the MTV Cribs, but for cars. It would be huge. I love the driving idea. That is so good. Oh man, we're so good at this. We should get paid more for this.
Dude, seriously. I mean, that's an idea that we can give to smaller creators too. If you guys want to try to figure out what your niche is and then build off that, it's just like, I mean, all we've done is like, all I've watched in the last 15 years is YouTube. You know, I was making videos in 2006, so all I see is thumbnails and YouTube, and so, you know, there's just so many different strategies that some of these people can take with big followings, and like sometimes you have to be early on the trends too. You know, like sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time, take advantage of the opportunities. Like, obviously, if we were making YouTube videos 6 years ago, it would be it'd be easier to scale and grow and know what the opportunities are. But I mean, the best time to start is now, even if you guys have never made a piece of content in your life.
Exactly. Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, even, like we talk to you guys about like stuff we think like everyone should be doing. But like this week, I want to like finally start posting long form content to my YouTube channel. And like, do I know I have an idea and I'm basing it off like a model that works really well, a creator that's doing really cool stuff. And, and will I stick with this forever on the YouTube channel? Maybe, maybe not, but you just got to do it. You just got to like go for it and, just try things out, see what works.
Exactly. Yeah. See what works. Consume content too, which don't like mindlessly consume, but
no.
But still, you got to know what works by seeing what other people are doing every now and then. You can't just like go off on a whim and then figure it out sometimes. But yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 1,000%. Like you got to be consuming and seeing what other people are doing out there, and then just taking that, putting it into your own little blender and making your own little smoothie to give the world,
Oh, sounds amazing. I need a smoothie right now.
That sounds good. I could use an acai bowl with little coconut flakes on top, some, honey on top, some granola.
I'm going to Creation after this. Creation in LA.
K,
Shout out.
With the K.
Creation with a K. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But
yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty much. What do you think? That was a good conversation. Good topics here. Pretty much just the roast of Daniel Mack. Daniel Mack, if you're listening to this and you don't agree with us, feel free to
come on the
podcast. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Come on. We can discuss. We can figure out why you're doing what you're doing. If you think your strategy is better than what we've been talking about, please tell us why, and we're open. We're always open to hearing things. We don't have all the answers. Obviously, you have more followers than us. If someone told you to do what you're doing because it's more beneficial, then by all means, tell us why. We would love to learn too, So that's that. Caleb Simpson. But when that's said and done, if they're doing the same thing they're doing in the next 4 or 5 months, sorry, Daniel, but Caleb Simpson's gonna take you over. So
he's coming for you, bro.
His content is better than yours, and he knows what he's doing in the long form. So there we go.
Oh shoot!
And if you're listening to this,
thank you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe. As always, it's been a fun time, and I'm sure we'll see you on the next episode.
See you next week.
Later.